I'm probably on average eating half or 2/3 of as many calories as I had normally been eating. And it's really, really eye-opening realizing how little I thought about my food. Ever since high school, I've been really interested in fitness and generally trying to have a healthy physique. I did CrossFit during my senior year of high school. I spent a year in my university's bodybuilding club, and I've taken classes like judo, dance, and swimming just for fun, in addition to generally having a pretty solid workout routine. However, just because I had a solid workout plan did not mean that I was healthy. Throughout my time in university, especially after turning 21, I had been steadily gaining weight, and not just muscle. During my first year of university, I was a lean 160 pounds. By the end of my second year, I was a muscular 180 pounds. In my third year, I passed 190, and in my fourth year, I passed 200. In my fifth year, in the second half of quarantine, I hit the heaviest I had ever been, where I passed 220 pounds. The more rapid weight gain from my third year onward can be stemmed back from switching jobs, making more money, and spending a lot more money going out with friends, eating food, drinking boba, stuff like that, and it all sped up after I turned 21 in my fourth year, where we added drinks to those outings. During this time, there was never any substantial period when I lost weight. I had only been consistently gaining weight. Though a lot of it was muscle, especially at the beginning, once I passed like 190, it mostly wasn't muscle anymore. I realized that no matter how solid my fitness was, I would never lose weight unless I radically changed my diet. And smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Blah. So, on June 1st of this year, I was just over 215 pounds, and I had a reasonable goal and a stretch goal to reach by July 1st. The reasonable goal being hit 205 pounds or get below it, and the stretch goal being get under 200 pounds. So that would either be lose around 10 pounds or over 15 pounds by July 1st. So that is 30 days. So I'm sure you're wondering, was Andy successful? I'll start by telling you I was successful in fixing my diet and developing a much better quarantine workout routine, but you'll just have to watch the video to find out by how much. So let's get to the diet. Finger gun. Is my hand in focus? Yeah. This video is titled The Healthiest Month of My Life. And that's for a good reason, because it quite literally is the healthiest I have ever been in a 30-day span. So here is what I did to make it the healthiest month of my life. So I would be lying if I said that this last week of dieting and exercising was easy, but I'm down 6 pounds. Just been doing a lot of walking, cycling on the Peloton, some strength workouts, but mostly cardio. And I feel great. Let's keep it going. Number 1, I cut out alcohol entirely. No booze, no sips of my mom's wine or margaritas at dinner, no hard seltzers, no White Claws, nothing. Since turning 21 and already having a habit of going out with friends for food, I would usually go out with friends for food and drinks once, twice, sometimes even 3 or 4 times a week, and it really added up. That describes my real life frequency, but since quarantine began, I'd often have like a glass of wine with my mom at dinner. Can't believe I called it a cup of wine, that's
no good.
And 3 times a week, my friends and I would go on Discord and have a Netflix night, and I often would have a couple White Claws or like make a cocktail or have some amount of booze with that. From the start of quarantine until June 1st, I had developed a bunch of little routines that involved alcohol in some way, shape, or form, and I needed to cut that out. Though, watching Riverdale was a very fun time.
I dropped out in the 4th grade to run drugs to support my nana. That means you haven't known the triumphs and defeats, the epic highs and lows of high school football, but you will.
Given all the routines that I had built, I thought that this one would be super hard, given social pressures and things like that. But when I told everyone who I had previously been drinking with that like, hey, for this month, I'm not drinking at all, and then after this month is over, I'm gonna drink a lot less, everyone was 100% supportive, and this turned out to be the easiest change, and with one of the biggest caloric impacts. Worked hard to have a boba this week. I've probably done like 2,000 calories on the Peloton, so yay. Number 2, practicing intermittent fasting 5 days a week. So 5 days a week, kind of. It's a bit more complicated than that. I would only be allowed to eat from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. An 8-hour time span. When it comes to dieting, if there aren't strict rules, I tend to struggle with it. If I have any amount of leeway or wiggle room, I often think, oh, these Oreos won't hurt, or things like that, and it spirals out of control. So with having hard rules like intermittent fasting, it almost entirely cut out temptations for things like a late night snack, dessert, an unhealthy breakfast, or breakfast entirely. I don't eat breakfast in the first place most of the time, so it wasn't really that hard. But having these hard rules in place really helped with the nighttime food situation. So to explain my schedule for intermittent fasting, from Sunday night through Friday morning, that's when I'm on regular schedule. But from Friday night through Sunday morning, I have no restrictions. I'll put a visual aid right there. Blue is my regular eating hours. Red is my restricted hours where I'm not allowed to eat, and green is my no restrictions hours. I'm not trying to eat extra calories or have cheat days during these no restriction hours. It's just that, let's say I want to have a stroopwafel. I can have one at 8 p.m. on Friday. Or at 9 a.m. on Sunday. We are halfway through the month. Got Momo. Say hello to Momo. And now I'm around 205 as of halfway through, and my goal is to be under 200 by the end of the month, so we are more than on track. So weight-wise, we're doing great, but the last couple days I've had a lot of temptation to just eat food. It's after my feeding window for my intermittent fasting, so I have to put this away. I can't eat it right now. Number 3, I majorly cleaned up my diet. I more or less entirely cut out junk food, added sugar, and eating oversized portions. Of course, I had a bunch of cheat-ish meals, not total cheat meals, but generally, my diet greatly improved. For example, I would often graze on Oreo Thins that were open out in the kitchen, and then not realize that if I have 2 cookies 4 times a day at 35 calories a cookie, math. I also used to almost always go for seconds at dinner when they were available, and now I just save things for leftovers. And last, I barely eat bread anymore. I love bread. I love buttered toast. I love buttered toast with pasta. But bread, toast, buttered toast, it's almost all entirely empty calories. So I've replaced a lot of the unhealthy foods that I was frequently eating with healthy things like omelets, salads, omelet salads. You get the idea. It sounds like a lot of changes, but it really just boils down to being mindful of what I'm eating, while the intermittent fasting helps me to be mindful of when I am eating. I was stumbling a bit with having a few too many cheat meals and kind of not seeing any progress with my weight loss. Like, I got down around 10 pounds off to about 205 to 206 range, and I was pretty much just staying there the whole time. So I was a bit discouraged, but just kept at it, and sort of realized that I was having too many cheat meals and too many exceptions to the diet. I still was having no booze. I was still following my intermittent fasting 5 days a week. So I wasn't breaking any rules per se, but I was just consuming too many calories. Number 4, lots of walking, cardio, and other exercise. Because it's quarantine, I don't really tend to go outside for most things. I tend to just be in the house or near the house. Though, thankfully, I live in the suburbs, so I can go out for walks and not have that much risk of passing by people, or if there are people, it's pretty easy to pass by with a wide berth. I always bring a mask with me to at least wear when I'm within 30 feet of people, but I go on frequent walks, usually with my mom. We usually go on a short one in the morning and a long one in the evening. In total, these walks add up to 3 to 5 miles in total most days, which is around 400 or 500 calories, which is significant. We have a Peloton stationary bike at home, so I often spend 20 to 40 minutes burning 300 to 500 calories each a day on that, which also adds up. It's a lot of cardio that I'm doing between the walking and the Peloton, but I've also been doing a lot of other things here and there. I've also gone on a few runs, though I tend not to just because it's easier to social distance on a walk or just by not going outside. I've done some exercises with kettlebells, resistance bands, dumbbells. I've taken some Peloton bodyweight fitness classes. I've marched. I've done some yoga. And of course, I lift my cats many times a day. Say hi, Momo. Say hi to the camera. Good boy. I've also been experimenting with my RuneScape workout videos, which you can watch with the card right somewhere around there. And you can try those workouts out too if you're interested. But overall, the point is I have a lot of motion in my life when quarantine would otherwise have me sitting at my desk 27 hours a day. This brings us to the final and most crucial point. Number 5, tracking absolutely everything. Most of these big changes I've been making would not have been possible if I had not been tracking everything. My weight every morning, the exercises that I'm doing, and the food that I'm eating. I'm using an app my mom recommended to me called Noom, which is a comprehensive dieting guide app thing. They pride themselves in having way better results than almost any other dieting app or program. It provides daily psychological lessons to help you build habits. It tells you roughly how healthy the food you're eating is, and it gamifies your caloric budget to motivate you to exercise more. Since I'm on an accelerated weight loss plan, which is around 2 pounds lost a week, my caloric budget for most days is 1,400 if I do no exercise. With Noom, if you burn 2 calories in exercise and you log it, that gives you back 1 calorie in food. So if I do a 500 calorie Peloton stationary bike ride, that gives me 250 calories back in my budget. If I go for a walk and it burns 300 calories, I get 150 calories back. So that really motivates me if I'm anticipating like a big meal or want to have a snack. That really motivates me to work harder to get that caloric budget so I can eat that food. For perspective, I've been averaging eating probably around 1,700 or 1,800 calories a day. And that means about 300 or 400 of them were earned by movement and exercise. Noom is a premium service. It's not free, but it's absolutely what tied everything else together. How did I clean up my diet? I logged what I was eating, I saw what I needed to change, and I made the adjustments. How did I get consistent exercise in my schedule? I wanted to earn my stroopwafel and boba, I guess. The ultimate goal for this app is for you to not need it anymore once you've finished your diet. So hypothetically, after 6 months of use, the psychology lessons will teach you all the habits you need to know, and the gamification aspect of the app, along with tracking everything, will reinforce how to do it. So when you're done using the app, you'd hypothetically have good habits and not need it anymore. I'm not sponsored by Noom, but Noom, if you're out there, hit me up. However, I do have a promo link. I don't think it gives you a discount, but if you use the link and sign up for Noom and end up paying for it because it works for you, it helps me out. So that's gonna be the first line of the description. That'll have my link for Noom. If you're interested, try that out. It might help you out. If you just want to track your food and exercise and weight, you could use free apps like MyFitnessPal, but I have tried that app out, and Noom has worked a lot better for me. Hence why when I was using MyFitnessPal back in my 4th year and beginning of 5th year, I was still gaining weight, Whereas using Noom, I have been successful in losing weight. So now, I'm sure you want to see how much weight I have actually lost. Get ready for that before and after. Right here, we have the picture for June 1st, and right here, we have the picture for July 1st. At the beginning of the month, I looked in the mirror and just didn't like what I see. I wasn't really confident in my appearance anymore like I was 2-3 years ago. Now, 15 pounds later, I know I still have work to do, but I look in the mirror and I don't immediately think, Andy, you're not looking so great. I don't mind what I see, that's the gist of it. My starting weight on the morning of June 1st was 215.2 pounds. And my final weight on July 1st was, drumroll, I'm gonna edit in a drumroll right here. It was 200.2 pounds. I blew past the realistic goal and was so freaking close to the stretch goal. It has been huge for my confidence and just feeling good. Like, I don't really know how to describe it. I just feel better than I did a month ago. To wrap up, what am I gonna do moving forward? More or less, nothing is gonna change at all. I'm still gonna do intermittent fasting. I'm still gonna track everything I eat and do and weigh. I'm still gonna have a relatively clean diet. I'm still gonna exercise frequently. So more or less, the diet is gonna continue, but I will allow myself to drink alcohol. Now that I've broken all the routines that I had with it and the social pressures and whatnot, I do feel comfortable going back and having it some of the time. And as it stands now, I will just be drinking on Fridays or on very special occasions, such as if this channel gets monetized. Subscribe and make that happen. And of course, I'll still try and fit that into my caloric budget for the day. And my goal for moving forward is to reach 175 pounds. I'm at 198.6 today, as of July 10th. So I still have well over 20 pounds to go, but I am optimistic. I will hit 175 and I will decide if I need to slim more, bulk up to get more muscle, or just maintain. But for now, we'll take the win with our progress in the month of June. The healthiest month of my life. Thank you for watching. This process has quite literally been life-changing for me, and I hope something that I've shown here can help you too. I have more challenges, vlogs, and other videos in the works, so please consider subscribing. And if you want more pictures of my cats, please follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.